Hello, I'm Alec Macmillan. I am the town historian for the town of Hingham, and I'm here to invite you, anyone who was within the sound of our voice here, to come to the Mass Memories Roadshow, which will be held at the Hingham Town Hall on the second floor on Sunday, May 17th. And you'll hear more about it. I think there'll be other announcements as well. Let me tell you a little bit of what this is. This is an opportunity for anyone to bring in pictures that they have that may be interesting. And you may think they're interesting only to you, but you'd be surprised how important or interesting they might be to other people in the town or around the state if your pictures talk about or show an era or a time in history. And we may think that history is something that happened hundreds of years ago, but history is happening every day. And everybody takes a lot of pictures these days, and the thing to do is to share them and to come in and show the people at the Mass Memories Roadshow your pictures. If they were old pictures that your parents or your grandparents or great-grandparents may have taken, that'll be important too. But that's not all we're looking for. Anything that describes and shows the town the way it is today, that people maybe 100 years from now will find fascinating to look at. And just as an example of some of the pictures that we have out of our archives at the Historical Society and from the Hingham Then and Now website, I'll just show you a few of these pictures. The old pictures and then the way the area looks now. This is a picture of some firefighters in Hingham, downtown, and this is in about 1880, and they're standing in front of their firehouse. And now I'm going to show you that firehouse isn't there anymore, but it's right at the intersection of North and South Street, and there's a little park there now. And not many people know that there was a firehouse there with resident horses, and that volunteer firemen, which was the only kind we came running and to pull those wagons around to wherever the fire took place. So this is something where people can look at a scene they see now and say, oh, and that's what used to be there. But that is happening more and more. For instance, this was the building that was the key building in downtown Hingham, our most heavily recognized, the Lincoln Building. And we lost it this winter when the snow overloaded the roof and it collapsed, and the building had to be torn down immediately. So this building is now gone, and some part of history is no longer with us. And what is there now, if you go down and look, is a big hole in the ground. So it was important to have pictures, many pictures of the building, and also important to demonstrate this period of our history right now when this building was torn down, because here is the hole in the ground. There are other scenes, right, particularly in the downtown area, that for many people, particularly of my advanced age, will find reminds them of their youth. This is, for instance, was Hingham downtown in the 1950s. And I remember all of these stores, used to go in them. And when we put these pictures up on the Then and then Hingham Then and Now website, we get thousands of people who write in and say, I remember that, I used to go there and get the penny candy and so on and so forth. And people love to see these things. And you may well have pictures at home of a scene in Hingham that will remind people of their youth. If it was your youth, it was probably the youth for a lot of other people too. So that's something that we want to do. Here's a building that a lot of people don't know, which is the Hingham Library before the current one. And this was torn down when we built a new library in the late 60s. And books were carried over from the old building to the new one by a book brigade of school children who were let out from school to participate in this moment of history. And the books were all passed along from hand to hand over to the new library. There's, again, as I say, there's history happening every day. For instance, this is a picture I took, which is a picture in front of the post office downtown a couple of weeks ago, when the snow peaks were so high that you could barely get in the doors any place. And I'm hoping that it's going to be a lot of pictures taken of this storm of the century, because someday we'll want to be looking back at these pictures, and hopefully we'll never have to live through another storm like this, but you never know. So that's what I want you to do, is to look at all your photographs you may have, and maybe you've got a box of old pictures from your mother, your grandmother. Look through them and see if there's anything that might be interesting for people to see. Probably be interesting for you to just go through that exercise of looking at these pictures. And then you can bring them down to the Mass Memories Roadshow. They will all be scanned for you, so they'll go into the collection, and at some point this collection will be analyzed, and we'll see what we can do to have it show life in Hingham as seen in these photographs. So that's something you should do. There'll be people to talk to with maps of the town the way it once was, and who can tell you about, help you to locate where your picture was taken. So that'll be interesting for you to come down. You don't have to make an appointment. You can just walk in at the door, and this is the Mass Memories Roadshow, and it's on May 17th on Sunday. You'll be hearing more about it.